Okay, so we're going to look at these formulas here. Tomorrow I'm going to prove where these come from. Today what you're going to do, you're just going to take notes on what the formula is, and you're just going to practice plugging it in. It's very simplistic. It's very straightforward. Okay? So the first formula, it looks like this, one for sine. It basically starts when you have two angles being added. Okay? And what you get, so sine keeps the sine. Sine keeps the sine. So if it's plus here, you put a plus here. And then it's just sine, cosine, sine, cosine. And then you just fill in the angles. X and Y, so you put XY. And then you alternate YX. Okay? That's the one of the sum ones. The difference one looks like this. It's sine of X minus Y. What does that look like? Again, sine keeps the sine, so it's minus. And then you put sine, cosine, sine, cosine here. And then you go ahead and fill in your angles. The first one is X, the second one's Y. And then you interchange these as Y and X. Okay? I forgot I'm supposed to be timing myself because we only have 15 minutes for this section. And let's just say we have like 13 left over. Let's just say 12, okay? Here, Maria, you time me, okay? And now, so we're done with sine. These are the sine sum formulas, okay? And next, we're going to do cosine. Cosine. We're going to first do the cosine sum one. Now, I'm going to show you where these come from tomorrow. I will derive them. But cosine... Okay, there you go. So cosine looks like the following. Cosine goes cosine, cosine, sine, sine. Cosine, cosine, sine, sine. Cosine, cosine, sine, sine. It's like a song, right? So you write cosine, cosine, sine, sine. And cosine changes the sign. So if this is plus, the middle one is minus. And you just fill in your two angles. So it's xy, so you put xy, xy. Okay? Next one over here is cosine of x minus y. And it's the same thing. Cosine, cosine, sine, sine. Cosine, cosine, sine, sine. So you put cosine, cosine, sine, sine. And you fill in the angles, which are x, y, x, y. And cosine changes the sign, so this is plus here. And these are my sum and difference formulas for cosine here. And now you might wonder, well, who cares? Why do we care about these? And I'm going to show you the significance of them in a second, in a moment here. Okay? So, to really understand these, you have to kind of understand, we're going to have to take a little side note here, and we are going to review angles we know. Just going to look at these here. So let's look at some angles that we know. What are some angles we know? We know 45. What else? 30 degrees. What else? We know 60 degrees. Do we know any others? We know 90, right? 0 and but all the rest of them are just multiples of these. True? Right? So you just, add them up a bunch of times. And if you recall, 45, that's pi over what? 4, right? That's pi over 6 is pi over 3, and this is pi over 2, right? So hopefully you have, these should be really familiar at this stage, okay? What we're going to do, part of what we're going to do today requires our prior knowledge here. So what we're going to do now, and the whole point of doing this is to build up to why do we need these here. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, so I want you to add, or I want you to combine. Actually, not combine. I would like you to figure out how to get this angle with old ones. With old angles, we know. Okay? So, in other words, so I'm going to give you some angles here, and you tell me how you would get them.
What is this?
Oh, this angle. I'm going to show you. This is this angle here. For example, 105 degrees. Using these, how would we get 105? Anybody see it? How did we get? See, is 105? Is that a nice one on our unit circle?
Ooh, 60 and 45.
Yes, it is. Well, yes, but that one is just 60 degrees and what? 45 degrees, right? Maria, how am I doing on time? We have 8 minutes to go before we start our surveys, right? So, well, that's one way. So this is one. What about 15 degrees? How would I get this? 30 degrees. Uh-oh. Oh, 45 minus 30, right? Good. Let's do one more. Let me sign it, Maria. What would be another one? We could do, how about negative 15 degrees? How do we get that? Yeah, 30 minus 45. Okay? So now we have basically everything we need. So I'm going to basically give you one of these, which is a combination. Oh, wait, the last one's 75. What's 75 degrees? 30, what? No, plus 45. Right? 1. There are, but we won't. I don't have time for the question now. Okay, but there are. Okay, so now we're going to do example 1. And for example 1, I want you to find the sine of 75 degrees without using a calculator. So how would we do this? What do we do? And you say, well, is 75 on the unit circle? No, right? But I know that 75 is what? Plus 45. So do we agree the sine of 75 is the same thing as the sine of 30 plus 45? Is that true? Yes? And if you notice, now we have a sine and we're having them being added, these angles, right? So what does that give me? So I'm going to use this one here, right? Because it's being added and it's sine. So I'm going to write that formula right underneath this one here. So it's or actually I'm going to write it on top here. So I get sine of what? X plus y. And sine keeps the sign, so it's going to be sine. Oh wait, it's sine cosine, right? And then it's plus sine cosine, right? And then what? It goes x, y, and then yx. And basically, if you guys can see, x is what here? And what is y? Let's plug it in quickly. We're running out of time. So we have the sine of what? 30 times cosine of what? 45 plus sine of what? What was y? 45 times cosine of what? 30. Now, this is where you either need your unit circle or your special right-hand triangles. Okay? I'm going to do this really fast. Okay? So hopefully you will remember. Okay? Does anyone know what the sine of 30 is? It's either 1/2 or root 3 over 2. Which one? 1/2. It's 1/2. What's the cosine of 45? Root 2 over 2. That's the easy one. Plus, what's the sine of 45? Root 2 over 2. What's the cosine of 30? Yeah, because if this one was the half, this one is the square root of 3 over 2. And if you didn't know those, you would just go to your circle. Okay? Now, we multiply this. What does this give me here? Root 2 over 4. Root 2 times, 1 times root 2 is root 2. 2 times 2 is 4. What is the square root of 2 times the square root of 3? Root 6 over what? Good. Do they have a common denominator? What do I get? It's 4. What's the top? No, root 8. Yeah, root 2 plus root 6. You can't add apples and oranges, right? These are different things. And that's it. You would see that on the test. Okay. Maria, what time do we have? 3 minutes. We have time for one more example. Yeah. Question? Huh? Because we did. Sine of 45 is square root of 2 over 2. Okay. All right. So, example 2. And this one will go a little faster, okay? So example 2, we're going to do cosine of 15 degrees. Ready? So how did we get 15? 45 minus 30. True? And this is a cosine formula, right? And are they being added or subtracted? So we're going to look back here, and it's cosine and it's minus. So I'm going to write this formula down. So it's cosine of x minus y is cosine what? Sine. Whoops. And then we fill in the angles. So this is xy, and if it's minus, it's plus, and we put xy. So what's this one going to be? It's cosine of what? What is x?
45.
Cosine 45. What's the y?
30.
30 plus what? What's sine of x?
45.
45. What's the next one? 30. Fill it in quickly. What's cosine of 45? Yeah, remember, any cosine or sine of that one is always... What's cosine of 30? It's either 1/2 or root 3 over 2. Which one? It's root 3 over 2. Plus, what's sine of 45? Root 2 over 2. What's sine of 30? 1/2. Simplify, what do we get? What is this? No, times. 6 over what? Plus what? Root what? Root 2 over what? Add them up, what do we get? 4. Ay, Carlos Santana! No! Okay. We got it. How much time we got, Maria?
1 minute.
Alright, 1 minute for dance. Just kidding. And this is basically it. So tomorrow we're going to derive these. I just wanted to introduce you to them. Please copy down the following. This is your homework for tonight. Homework is 4 problems. Copy these down over here. How are we doing on time, Maria? We got 30 seconds. Okay, so you should have finished up right now. So what we're going to do is we are now going to watch a video on outlining what this survey is about and the importance of it, why we're doing it. It is important. We're going to talk about that right now. Let's listen up and watch this video, please.
It can also be a case of the men's struggle for a bunch of different... Hey guys, this is Carlos Santos from MTV. Now I'm here to agree when I say so in our country can be a source of great support. And at times it can also be a case of the men's struggle for a bunch of different reasons. But I'm here to tell you that school leaders all around the country, including teachers and administrators, are in the know. They are working hard to make the school an environment that best prepares you for the future. And guess what? They aren't the only ones on the job. Foundations like the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation are working with the Center for Effective Philanthropy to figure out how they can help give you the best education possible. Just how smart are all these people? Smart enough to realize that the only way to make your experience the best it can be is to talk to you. You're here each and every day. You see what's really happening, the good and the bad. You know better than anybody how things are going and how to improve what's not working. People like Mr. Gates and the principal want. Actually, it's more like they need your feedback. So today, I want to tell you about an exciting project called Youth Truth. Your school is among hundreds of schools from around the country that will be collecting some very important information that will help everyone get a picture of how you feel about life at school. You'll get to fill out an online survey that gets into the nitty-gritty about your classes, teachers, your school programs, you name it. Usually you take a test and then your teachers give you feedback on how you did. But this time it's the other way around. Youth Troop, you'll be grading them. They actually want you to do it. So don't just take it from me. Listen to what these folks have to say about their own school's participation in Youth Troop last year.
When Youth Troop came about, we didn't think we could get it opinion. But I think afterwards we very enlightened. I think it opened a lot of people's eyes. Well, maybe we can do this better. Maybe we can do that better.
I feel that youth really gives us a chance to say, okay, we're having problems, we need help, and we just really need somebody to give us a solution, some type of alternative.
A lot of those talking to children and not listening. So I think youth group is a very good to get at that. It just has, for us, it just has some very powerful data.
I think if you want to know what's going on in school, you ask the kids. And I think that that's something that we've done and we're going to continue to do. And the Youth Troop survey allows us to do that.
Now you may have taken surveys in the past and wondered, will this really make a difference? Well, Youth Troop is different. And the students who were involved last year noticed right away.
I take a lot of surveys, and I have no idea what happens to the results. I'm surprised if I see any changes, but I feel youth group is really a survey that really caters to us and really, let us see what we need to work on and what are we strong at and what are we weak at.
The other surveys are just like, what do you think? And this one was like, actually, what can we do to better the situation?
And just to give you an idea of how your feedback can actually lead to change, here's a look at what happened at one school that participated in the Youth Troop survey.
The biggest thing that stuck out from us from our results was the experience of learning for the students. They weren't as satisfied as other students. They didn't have as strong relationships with adults as other students. They didn't perceive that policies and procedures were fair. They didn't perceive that the classes were challenging, so forth, across the board.
It seemed like they were just always trying to get examples out of everyone, and they never really thought about it. Dang, this is not good for that person.
So we decided to come up with the Ninth Grade Academy concept, which would support them academically, also socially.
We found there's much greater consistency across those classrooms. There's more coordination between those teachers, which I think has improved the students' experience as well.
Since the teachers and children saw the survey, they like back-to-back work, like essays and group projects and discussions within class. It's like a lot of interaction between the teacher and student now.
Another thing we did was institute the team court, and in this program, we wanted to address this issue of policies and procedures being fair. No better way to ensure that they're fair than if they're administered by their peers. All the members report are students, and there's a judge or an attorney that comes in to serve as a judge in the case. And so the jury can apply sanctions by the school, so they can require tutorial, restitution, legislative apology, and so forth.
At this time, I have our team for the explain.
We saw the survey, they do this way the issue in this case, and where they say, according to evidence, and guidelines and rules.
I think the great part of this is, to a certain extent, I can say message received, and I think they can say message received as well in terms of the experiences that they're having now.
We have team court, we have mentoring programs, we have programs that you can connect with the teachers.
And that captures what Youth Troop is about, is giving students a vehicle to send messages to us so that we're not operating in a vacuum or based on how we perceive students are experiencing in the time they're in high school. They can tell us directly.
Now, to make this thing a true success, you got to be honest. Don't put down what you think your teachers want to hear or what your friends think. The results will be totally anonymous, and after it's all done, you'll be hearing from your school administrators about what they learned and what you all can do to make school better.
Tell the truth, because, if you're doing that, people are actually going to listen to it and hear it. This is basically a chance to hear your voice.
Now I feel like we have a voice and people understand what we feel.
If a student's not happy where they're learning, then they're not going to have that can-do attitude. If you take into account what the student has to say, what they feel, and then they feel like, well, man, if my school cares about me, then I should be able to in return learn and go off and do something better.
I'm very happy that our school participated. I think it was a good experience. Nothing positive or hurt, and everybody got a chance to kind of say what they wanted to say.
It's a good survey to take. I think like every school in the nation should take it because it benefits like the whole environment of school.
So get with it, people. This is your chance to speak the truth. Make it count.
Alrighty, folks. Thank you very much. Listening up to that one. So, what you're going to do right now, Jonathan, hit the lights for us, please. You should have a Chromebook in front of you, okay? You also have a little ID tag. This is your tag for your anonymity and your login. Please go ahead and open up your Chromebook. Type this address into the browser. If it is already there, hit the refresh button. The refresh button is to the left of the web address, okay? Call me over if you need clarification or questions. If you have any questions, or choose. Yeah, that's fine. Scroll down to the bottom of that page when you get there. Yes, and go start the survey. Scroll down to the bottom, hit next, and then type in your username, password, whatnot, and go from there. Excuse me, there should be no talking during this process here.